Hey guys, what's up? My name's Jen. I'm a former flight attendant turned travel professional, and today we are doing Thailand travel tips. I just got back from Thailand, and so did Foodie not that long ago. So she made a video with all of her Thailand tips and how much they spent. I'm going to see what she has to say about it and insert my own tips in there and see if her experience really lined up with what mine was. I've heard some different things about this video and that it wasn't, people don't think it was accurate to say the least. So we'll see. And I think I can kind of, since I'm literally within days of me arriving back home, still a little jet lag, 13-hour time difference is rough, but I'll be able to insert some of my own experience in what happened, any tips that I have that she might have missed as she's talking here, and a little bit about what I spent as well. We'll see if our experiences were somewhat similar or not. Let's go ahead and take a look at her video, Thailand travel tips and how much we spent. It will be linked in the description down below if you guys want to watch it on your own. And let's get started. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm on StreamYard. This is my first time ever using StreamYard, and I thought I would practice with a recorded video first before I decide to go live and try to learn on the fly. So I'm all about practicing before, and plus I probably won't have anyone in the live anyways. So just so I'm ready and prepared when I want to go live, I think it'd be fun to do with some of these travel videos. Let's see what Foodie has to say about Thailand. Also, sorry, I keep thinking of things. If you see me munching on a snack at all, I still have a little bit of my Thailand snacks left. Not very much. I ate everything else. There's these rice cakes that I became obsessed with while I was over there. This is them. They're basically just like almond granola bars, and they're all individually wrapped, as you can see. Individually wrapped. And just really good like mini granola bars. Got them at 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven was great there. I will be talking way more about it on some other videos. I'm behind because I had a lot of work to do when I got back the first few days, and then just trying to adjust to the travel, or trying to adjust back with the 13-hour time difference. It's been a little rough. I'm waking up at like 1 a.m. every morning. So hopefully I can get a little more sleep and get some more videos out for you guys. Let's watch Foodie, see what she has to say. I really hope Sala is also in this video. I'm not sure if he is or not, because I would be interested to see his perspective as well. By the way, it is sped up because watching her at regular pace.
Are you looking for something to add to your bucket list? Why not add a personalized video with Cameo from me, Foodie?
If I add anything to my bucket list, it will not be a cameo from Foodie Beauty. I'll tell you that much right now.
Beauty. Cameos make great gifts for special occasions such as birthdays and baby showers. Or maybe you just need a good pep talk.
Baby shower.
Get yours now.
Hi guys, assalamu alaikum. Welcome.
I don't really see Foodie as a pep talk kind of person. That's just so so random. A pep talk from her. Oh, maybe she's good at it. I have no idea. I would be very interested to see if anyone's gotten a pep talk from Foodie. Real quick, this background, definitely a green screen. What kind of hotel room is this? It looks really nice and fancy, but this does not resemble anything that we saw from them from Thailand at all. My first room actually resembles like these colors a little bit. This is a little bit fancier than where we stayed in Bangkok, but it was warm colors like this. I don't know the vibe she's trying to put out with her green screen, but
Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a video that I should have done a long time ago. We've been home from Thailand since October 10th, so it's been a little while, a few weeks. And I want to conclude the trip with...
Okay, so she got back October 10th. It was so disappointing. I was really hoping she would be there when I got there. I left October 28th and then returned back November 11th or 12th. Like all meshed into one day there because of the travel time to get back. So just missed her.
a kind of give you an idea and some tips, give you an idea of what we spent budget-wise, and give you some tips if you're planning on, traveling to Thailand as a first-time traveler. And these are things that
if you're a first-time traveler and you're going to Thailand, that's an epic trip to be your first time traveling. From my experience, Thailand is not a place for first-time travelers. Backpackers, maybe, just because of it's so affordable. So maybe in that sense, maybe she's trying to reach out to those college students, gap year, backpacker people. But I would say this is not typically a first time traveler type trip. Maybe it's your first big trip out of the country this far away. It's quite a distance for a lot of people, so that could be it. Sorry, I'm like really dissecting what she's saying. Okay, let's play it.
I kind of wish that I knew as well, that somebody would have given me tips on. I did look up some tips before we went, but some things, you just have to kind of experience to get an idea of what it's like. So we went.
I don't think they did much research before they went. Judging by the other videos we watched, seemed like everything was kind of on the fly, which some people travel like that.
To Thailand from
tips.
August 29th until October 10th, I believe it is. And these are just going to be kind of rough estimates. We actually think we ended up spending a little more on little like nuances that we're just not thinking of right now. But feel free to also ask your questions in the comments. I'll try to answer as many as I can. So I had to write down some notes because I will not remember all this. All right, I'll start with the tips and then I'll get into what we spent and the budget. All right. So number one thing that stands out the most, I guess, is, we went during monsoon season. We didn't really care too much about the weather. Luckily for us, we love the rain. We love thunderstorms. It was nice watching the lightning shows every day, every afternoon after we would get back from an attraction and watch the lightning and thunder, watch the lightning and listen to the thunder from our balcony. But if you're somebody who's looking to stay dry and wants more of the sunshine, I would go in the more spring, like summer months, I guess. I don't know if they have spring.
Okay, a few things. Let's break this down. She did go during monsoon season. I was there 2 weeks right after she left. 0 rain. We had 1 day of rain and it rained in the afternoon. Like she said, it was a massive thunderstorm. It really reminded me of the thunderstorms here in Florida. Big thunderstorm. And then it rolled on out and it was just fine. I think we came in from touring stuff, came in about 4 o'clock. Storm came through, massive lightning strikes, but it rolled out probably within the hour and was just fine. And we went to the night market. If that gives you any perspective, just a couple days made that much of a difference where we had 1 day of an afternoon thunderstorm that came in and came out. Being on that shoulder season right after monsoon season, I say it's a sweet spot because also the weather it was 80s and 90s, but the first thing you do think about after your trip there is the weather. I've never sweat like that in my life and I live in Florida. If that tells you anything. It's just the humidity. It wasn't so crazy for me, but because we were doing so many activities, we were hiking waterfalls, we were hiking through the jungle looking for elephants. Like it was a lot of activity outside for the weather, so that stands out to me. Her recommending to go in the summer, I don't know if I would recommend that. I would recommend the exact time that I went, which is late October into November, just so it's not as hot. And our tour guide actually said that there are 3 seasons in Thailand: hot, hotter, and hottest. Pick your poison, I guess.
Spring, but monsoon season, we went right in the middle of that, like September, October. So, but they are apparently the more affordable season. So if you're looking to save money on your trip, you might want to go in the off season, the rainy season.
As a travel agent and having experienced the time of year I did when I was in Thailand, I would hesitate to suggest going during monsoon season just because so much of our experience was done outdoors. To be chased in by the rain, that would really change up the type of traveling that we did. I mean, there's plenty of things to find inside and you work with the weather and there's umbrellas and that kind of stuff, but the kind of rain that comes through there is crazy. And I can't imagine all of the night markets that we went to out and functioning during those type of rainstorms. If you really want the authentic like Thailand experience, to be outside in the community, going to the markets, eating the food, sitting out next to the temples, eating a roti, then I would say try to avoid monsoon season and try to get on the shoulder season. So it might be a little more affordable. All in all, Thailand is very affordable and it can range too, depending on what you're looking for. I wouldn't compromise on going during monsoon season. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't want to send a client during monsoon season at all. They just won't get the experience that I think that everyone should have when they go to Thailand.
You can put up with the rain. The umbrellas are very affordable there. So for us, it wasn't a big deal, actually.
Everything's really affordable in Thailand. So I don't know, or bring an umbrella. It's such a weird comment.
It did honestly get a bit tiring after a while because it literally, when I'm not exaggerating, it rained hard and thunder. There was a thunderstorm every afternoon, and I'll insert some of the clips I have from that here.
That literally looks like where we had our thunderstorm too when I was looking out the window, the cityscape. I love thunderstorms. Thailand
And we did
content.
actually get stuck in some floods going to Kawasan Road. We did do videos on that, as you saw. But so if you're wanting to
She's barefoot. I don't think we watched this video. I don't really want to go back and watch it. Look at Salah's face.
avoid that kind of thing, just messy weather. Some attractions are not as fun in the rain.
Most
So it just
attractions,
depends,
if they're outside,
rides,
are not fun in the
etc.
rain.
So if you don't want the rain, do not go in monsoon season, September, October, maybe even November.
No.
Another thing I discovered is a bit of fat shaming. If you're, a bit bigger, if you're a big woman, a big person, big woman, big man, you might get a bit fat shamed. It's only happened to me once, and I don't feel like it was actual like fat shaming. I think the person
If something happens to you once, I probably wouldn't put it on my recommendation list or my tips list just because it could have been a one-off experience. If you've been watching her content, you know the incident she's talking about. The woman, I think the woman actually was kind of like asking if she was pregnant because they were really interested in her own baby. And then they're like, oh no, she eats, and then the lady was like, whoa. It was very innocent. I think honestly, they're just not used to seeing someone at that size. I was even overweight compared to everyone there. It's just not part of their culture to have very large people, but it makes sense because they were all very active. They were going to the markets every morning. They were out walking, like even older people out working and doing things. So that being said, I did have an incident at the Chiang Mai airport where I saw another woman recording another woman who had a child with her, and that woman happened to be bigger, like foodie size, and then the child happened to be mixed race too. I have no idea if she was recording it because it's just an odd thing to see. I don't know if she was recording it because of that lady's size. It was kind of off-putting to me, and I was kind of like, really? That does kind of relate to the possibly fat shaming. I think they don't get to see a lot of different diverse type of people either, so it could just be something like, whoa, oh my gosh. There was a time where a little girl and her mom were walking into a 7-Eleven that we had stopped at during one of our trips on the road going to a new destination, and she was pulling at her mom and pointing at her hair and pointing at me because my hair is blonde or blonder. And then there was another gal in our group, in our small group, that also had blonde hair, and she was pointing at us and pointing at her hair. So I think it's just a matter of, they don't get to see that often. I don't really think there's any malice behind it at all. I also noticed that the Thai people were very, very upfront in not like a bad way at all, but they will tell you what they're thinking and be really straight up with you. Specific instance, vendors, when they were selling things, I really noticed that if you were looking at a piece of clothing, they'd be like, no, that won't fit you, or like bring you something that would fit you. And they did this to me. They did this to smaller girls. They were like, no, that won't fit. But one of them said, we're not trying to hustle you. We want you to wear it and have it and not just buy something that is not going to work for you. And I swear to God, every single time they told me a specific size like wasn't going to work and then this one would work, they were absolutely correct. There was one item that I bought was like an extra large for me to fit in, and it was kind of too big. So when I went to buy the next day, the same vendor, we stopped again to get another item. So I went to get just a large, and she was like, no, no large, no large. And I'm like, well, the other one's big, like too big for me, so I want to be able to wear it. And she's like, no, trying to convince me. And then she was like, try it on, which I don't think they normally let her try on, but like she knew that it was gonna sell me on it. So I tried on the extra large in it, and it was like way smaller than the other item. And then she was like, see, so obviously I bought it. It was little interactions like that. It wasn't her, saying that I was big. She just wanted me to be able to fit into the item that I was trying to buy. And like I said, she did this to the men in our group, the skinny gals in our group. I think it's just part of their culture of being more honest and straight up, to not hustle you and to be more genuine. And I think that also comes from the Buddhist religion too, because they believe in karma. So they don't want to do anything to have karma come back on them. Sorry, that was a long story, but very interesting.
With just being honest, or there might have been like a language barrier. I didn't feel any malice from their comments. But the person, I did a video on that as well. All of them are on our couples channel, mostly. Some of them on.
I don't think I saw an angry person the entire time that I was in Thailand. I'm trying to think back. I don't think I saw one angry Thai person, which is kind of crazy actually, because I go to Disney, the happiest place on earth, and it's constantly angry, upset people. Then I went to Thailand and I don't think I saw anyone that was upset. once at all.
On my channel here. But they did make, this woman did make a comment on the street, thinking I was pregnant and saying I eat too much and stuff like that.
Like I
So
said, she was
if you
playing
get
with her
embarrassed by that
baby
kind of thing,
though.
luckily for me, I
So
don't get easily embarrassed. But if you do get easily embarrassed and you don't like people picking out your appearance or, kind of pointing you out in public and stuff like that, maybe be wary of that. That might happen to you.
I don't think it would happen.
My advice is just
I guess if you have blonde hair, then maybe. And then there was another incident. It was cute. This village we were in, the children saw a guy in our group had a white beard and white hair. And so I think that was kind of fun for the kids to see. They're giggling at him and he was doing little jokes and stuff with them. So that was really cute.
Not to take it personal, and you'll be fine. I've heard rumors of this before going to Thailand, but I wasn't sure. Now, we stayed at 3 different hotels, and 2 of them did not allow anyone to bring in durian fruit or mangosteen inside of the hotel room because of, the durian, because of the strong odor. I
Which
can't
they
believe
brought
that.
it in.
There was one hotel we were allowed to bring durian, and it lingered in the room the whole time. My bad.
I feel like she's trying to like save her butt because people were calling her out that you're not supposed to really have it in public places. She also was carrying it around in her bag like the whole night and then brought it back to their hotel room. So that thing must have stunk so bad. When we asked one of the representatives that was working with the guides about this, she really was like, some hotels do, but it wasn't like, oh, hotels ban this. She said it was more in public places. You should not be eating those kind of things, smaller public places, just as a courtesy. And it is technically, I think, banned in a lot of those places too. So that was more of a bigger deal. So she made it seem than like having it in your hotel room. Another thing that though I didn't notice for our hotel room in Bangkok, I only noticed it there. They had little signs that said don't bring in outside alcohol at all. And alcohol was kind of like a whole different thing there. They don't sell alcohol between, I think, 2 and 5 o'clock, or no, it was 11 and 2 o'clock. No one could really give us a straight answer on why, but you could go into a restaurant and order an alcoholic beverage. You just couldn't buy it from a 7-Eleven or a store. Some restaurants wouldn't serve, but mostly they did. You just couldn't purchase it. One of the reasons that we pretty much got out of it was that they're trying to slow down the drinking when people would be driving back home after work, or just to slow down the purchases throughout the day. I don't know. No one could really give us a straight answer, but they definitely abided by it. Little fun fact there.
Mangosteen, apparently it stains and it's hard to get the stains out, and the hotel sheets are bleach white, so they do not want any mangosteen or durian, and they actually charge a fine of, it depends, some of them 3,000 baht. So yeah, you might not want to do that. Another thing is the transportation. The transportation is very tricky and finicky sometimes.
Not my experience at all. Transportation was totally part of the experience and made it really, really fun. Riding tuk-tuks and songtail buses. It was a lot of fun. And I do attribute a lot of that to our tour guide though. She set up a lot of different types of transportation for us. And she always wanted to make sure, unless we were taking a bus, because it was a small groups tour, we would take a small bus, and we had 2 of them from one city to the next city. So that was really nice. When we were within the city, like going to the markets and stuff, she always wanted to make sure that we had the local transportation. We also took trains. The train in Bangkok, there's so many great YouTube videos on how to use it. It's busy, but a lot of people were very happy with it too. Finicky, that's not at all. Unless you're trying to drive in Bangkok, which they spent most of their time in Bangkok, traffic is horrible. You need to walk to your destination if you can walk, or take the train because traffic is so bad, or take a tuk-tuk if it's close enough.
They have apps. We used apps such as Bolt, Grab. There's
Grab is also a food ordering app. We use Grab mostly if we
tuk-tuks.
did anything.
Those are like privately owned by the
Or like I said, our tour guide set it up.
tuk-tuk owner. Grab and Bolt are like an Uber kind of thing, or Lyft. But even though they're a company like that, you put in where you want to go, and then they scan for drivers. And the thing is that the drivers have a right to refuse the ride. I'm not sure if it's like that in Uber. I'm pretty sure they can,
I'm
but
pretty sure anyone can
they're
refuse
very
it in
like
Uber.
they'll refuse for just anything, for like no reason. You know, if they just don't want you, if it's not enough money.
How can she say just for no reason? She has no idea why the person refused it. And yes, if it's not a lot of money, then I guess they can refuse it.
They just won't do it. Like
How would
sometimes
you
if
know?
our ride was only going to cost 85 bahts, we had to wait like forever.
85 baht? That's like you literally can walk down the street for that. Why weren't you taking a tuk-tuk for that either? 85 baht? My granola bars were 45. So that's 2 bag of granola bars. Why would you take an Uber for that much? I don't blame them one bit for not wanting to take that ride. $2.40. Oh, why would you book an Uber for $2.40? But then again, it's Foodie and she doesn't want to even walk anywhere. So
To try to find a driver.
it's a weird thing
But
to
if
be
it was
mad
like
about.
200 bahts, they would pick up just like that. So because they're based on commission, the higher the price of the ride, the more likely they're going to be like, I want that one, you know. Also depends on
Makes sense.
traffic. The traffic jams in Thailand are bad, especially in the business hours.
In Thailand, that's a big generalization. In Bangkok, absolutely horrible. Some of the worst I've ever seen. Chiang Mai also could get very busy during certain hours of the day. That was another place. Otherwise, the traffic in other places we were was not an issue.
In the early evening, it's really bad. It's really bad. It's annoying. Sometimes it would take us an hour to get to a place that's like 20 minutes away or more. If you think about the transportation apps,
I don't like that she's complaining about this. They stayed in the city the whole time. Bangkok is known for its crazy traffic.
they charge a flat rate no matter how long it takes you to get there instead of a meter. But the taxis are allowed to refuse trips as well. So just be aware that your ride might get canceled. You just have to have a lot of patience and you'll be fine. All right, now I'm going to get to the budget, the money side of things. All right, I'm going to tell you how much we spent on each category roughly and things like that. So the currency in Thailand is the Thai baht. To give you an idea, 1 Canadian dollar is 25 baht. USD is 35 baht. British gold pound, 43 baht, and
I'm okay with
Australian dollar,
these
22 baht.
conversions.
For KD, for Kuwaiti dinar, it's 115 baht. You
Well,
can
their money went a
use your
long
credit
way there.
cards, but they primarily like cash there. So they like you to use the Thai baht while you're purchasing things in Thailand. You can even pay for your hotels that way. It seems that the cash currency is actually preferred over other methods.
I have to hand it to Foodie on this one. I would have to agree with that. It seemed like because it was like markets and that kind of stuff, a lot of the time cash was preferred. There were some places, especially in Chiang Mai, that we noticed actually had signs. Even certain massage places had signs that said we prefer credit, which is kind of like, oh, so it was definitely going to the ATM and getting cash out. As far as getting cash out, that's a whole other thing too that I learned while I was there. Apparently, let me back up. When I landed, I went to get cash out of the ATM. That's just how I was rolling for this trip. And it didn't work. It declined my card and said that it's such a weird message I've never seen before. It was like, bank does not connect to Thailand, whatever. And I was like, a little bit of a freak out moment. All of a sudden, I can't get cash out. Come to find out, it does happen. And it's certain banks and ATMs don't work with certain cards. So our tour guide literally said, if one ATM doesn't work, go to the next one or try the next bank's ATM. There was like multiple colors. So she was like, whichever color works for your card that you're using, remember that. And then just go to those ATMs when you see them. If you need them, tried another ATM and it worked perfectly fine. Came to find out that the Chinese banks are the ones that accepted my card mostly. So it was cash preferred. Now, paying for the hotel in cash, it seemed like they preferred credit card and you could do credit card transactions with them. No problem at all with the places that we were staying. She might have been staying at a place that maybe preferred cash over card. What they were very helpful with, if you got, I was going to say notes, like I'm in London, if you got cash out of the ATM and because you get like 1,000 baht bills, the hotel staff was great about exchanging for smaller bills, which came very handy. It was very, very helpful for them to allow us to do that. So I would check with the front desk if you're wanting to break down your larger baht bills, because things at the market, you hand them $1,000 baht, it's kind of like, oh, and sometimes they wouldn't have change for you. So having the smaller baht was really, really necessary. So that's a little tip for you guys there. And if one ATM doesn't work, try the next one.
So make sure you exchange enough money. And I think the best place to do that, from what I understand, is I've been told, is at the airport. There's a
Traditionally, the highest exchange rates are when you are at the airport before you leave security. So when you arrive, sometimes before you step outside of the secured area, there's going to be places. Those are going to be the worst. And then when you step out, sometimes those can be a little bit better. But generally, the exchange rate is not good at airports. That's kind of like a common tip. So I'm kind of surprised that she's saying that she heard this. If you can exchange ahead of time at the bank for a great exchange rate, do a little bit of research if that's what's concerning you. Frankly, me just getting it out of the ATM, I have no foreign transaction fees either with the card that I have. So it was fine how I did the ATM.
a whole bunch of booths. So make sure you look for, you compare prices. It can be competitive to get the most bang for your buck. Now, we actually found a really good exchange rate at a place here in Kuwait before we left. So we were able to exchange all of the money that way.
She did some travel prep.
Some things we did pay by credit card, but mostly cash. So we have different categories for the budget, okay?
They budgeted.
You might go over because especially if it's your first time in a country, it just happens, Now, we're going to start.
So much to unpack there. If you're budgeting, I would try to stay within your budget and not go over. There's a lot of things you can do to stay within your budget. Doing tours and that kind of stuff where there's meals included and paying for that kind of stuff up front is very helpful. With our tour, breakfasts were always included at the hotels, which was really, really nice. We always ate at the markets because the food was the best there and we could eat for like $5 a night. It was crazy. But if you're traveling and you have a budget, you should truly just stay inside the budget and don't, oh, whoops, I went over the budget because I'm a first time traveler. That doesn't make any sense at all. I think they had a budget when they went into it. They didn't stay within the budget because they were extended, I think, quite a bit longer than they originally thought they were going to be there for. Her backstory and all of that, she most likely was there for visa purposes and she had to get out of Kuwait and then renew her visa and all of that. So I think there was some delay in there. That's what a lot of people speculated. And that could definitely cause her to not be within budget if they're only expecting to be there for a certain amount of time and then they had to extend it how many more weeks after that, because no one just really goes on a 6-week vacation and stays in Bangkok. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Start with the airfare. So we flew with Qatar Airways and
they're a pricier airline too.
The airfare was 300 KD per person. Now I'm going to talk in KD and bahts, and I'll put the conversions for other currencies here somewhere, okay? So to give you an idea.
That is pricey. I will say that. On our group tour, we had a lot of Canadians that were there. And I know for a fact that they did not spend that much on their airfare. Tickets that they purchased were closer to USD in Canadian dollars. So I don't know if they bought like really last minute tickets. That seems really expensive for me, especially going from Kuwait. The other part of that is if she was purchasing a open-ended ticket because they didn't know what day that they were going to come back on, or if she did any kind of insurance on it. I just highly doubt that that's the case, but she could have bought an open-ended ticket, which means that they can change the date of their return flight because they didn't know when exactly they'd be coming back. So those are quite a bit more expensive, but you have that flexibility with no change fees or anything like that to worry about. So that could have been the case.
So yeah, so we spent total 600 KD for the flight alone. That was return trip. The hotels, again.
I won't tell you guys what I spent on the flights because you're going to think it's sickening in the fact that it was very, very, very affordable for me. But I have special benefits and stuff that I get to use. I'll just leave.
And we stayed in Bangkok.
It's not realistic either for an average person.
A couple of weeks. And then we went to Pattaya. And then we went back to Bangkok. So we spent a total of...
That just blows my mind. We went to 7 different cities during my tour. The actual tour was 10 days only. I just don't understand why you would go to Thailand and only stay in Bangkok and Pattaya briefly for that amount of time. Please do not go to Thailand and spend 6 weeks in Bangkok. Please get out into the mountains, go to Chiang Mai, go see the rest of the country. It's absolutely beautiful. There are great people that live throughout the country to meet and have a lot of crazy fun experiences. There's festivals going on. There's all of these night markets that were just so lively and fun. It makes me sad that she stayed in Bangkok the whole time. Bangkok, I'll be honest, I did not like it at all. That was kind of the consensus of other people on my trip too, especially females. We were kind of like feel as comfortable going out alone in Bangkok. It's just a very big city. So that's the vibe that you like, then you might like it too. Also, like crazy nightlife. Things didn't seem to get started until like 7 p.m. So if you're into that as well, people definitely have fun there. But 6 weeks worth, I don't know.
It was 248 KD for the hotels total, which is 30,000 baht. Yes. But these are approximations within like a few give or take, but 30,000. Transportation.
I think that's what I heard people say, that they didn't believe what she said, 42 days. I don't think that's that bad. $800, $900 for what we saw of the hotels. That's a little interesting to me because you can get some crazy affordable places in Thailand that are very, very nice. I would have thought the places that they stayed were a little bit better. We didn't get to see them that much either, which kind of tells you too, because she used to be one to like totally show off the hotel room that she's in. But I think that's believable.
So transportation on a daily basis, like if we're going to attractions, now you can spend a lot less. Okay, you can take the boat we took to get to Icon Siam, the hop on, hop off, 30 baht per person. So
I'm pretty sure there's a free boat actually to go there, but this one might have been.
You can take public transportation, maybe 60 baht, for the SkyTrain, whatever. We don't really like people-y places, and I just like the comfort of the AC, places. The comfort of the.
They don't like people-y places, but they stayed in Bangkok. Not the trip I would plan for them.
To A and B very quickly. So if you're looking at taking a Bolt or a taxi, you're going to be looking at from where we were. Depends how far you are, right? We spent about 300 baht a day on transportation. And it cost us to get from Bangkok to.
Where were they going to spend $10 a day on transportation? Felt like there was times where she was just staying in the hotel room that day. So $10 a day, and like Kunsala walk places. That seems like a lot, because even for us, and this is like outside of Bangkok, it was probably 100 baht to like round trip for 4 of us on a tuk-tuk. So we would split that and it'd be 25 baht each. Some nights it was 100 each. That seems expensive, but I guess if they're doing, cars, and we're talking about $10 here. In the grand scheme of things, that's not bad at all. But when things are so walkable there and the public transportation is so accessible, it seems silly to be spending that much, especially when she said they went over budget. So you would think that would be one way that they could cut down and stay within their budget.
About from there and back, about 4,000 baht. It was about 2,000 baht per way. So we spent about 16,000 baht in transportation. But again, you could save on those costs.
That's like half as much as their accommodations. That's a lot. It hurt her not being able to walk and be more mobile while there. And I think the weather really scared her.
Definitely. Now, this was in budget for us, so that's fine. We made sure to budget extra because I know myself.
I thought she said that they were out of budget.
And, Salah is similar with these things. So we knew like, okay, if we have to cut corners somewhere else, we want to be comfortable with the transportation. So we don't want to stress ourselves out with planning all of the extra where I need to transfer on this bus. No, the bus I think is like 8 baht. If you would really want to save and you have no problem with public transportation, you can save a lot of money. Food.
I'm sensing a little entitlement there.
Food is a major expense, that's for sure. We spent 26.
Food is like the one thing that blew my mind being in Thailand. Blew my mind how cheap we could eat and how affordable an entire meal and then some was. In Chiang Mai, there were 3 of us that ate. I will insert a picture here. We had like 4 different dishes that we all shared and split, and then we each got like this fresh fruit smoothie. I think I got a Thai tea smoothie. It was so good. It was under $12 for the 3 of us to have that entire meal. $12 USD. That was so crazy to us. And then I went and I was flying through Detroit airport and got a Subway sandwich, $15. My Subway sandwich, which unfortunately did not taste as good as my mango sticky rice and the awesome salad that we had and the pad thai that we had. Spring rolls. Oh, it was such a good meal. The food is so good there. She really did us dirty with not showing us the true food culture there. If you guys are interested at all in it, please do more research and find other YouTubers too. I'll be posting. I took a lot of video of us out at markets too. I'll have some of that up. It was so good and it was so affordable. I said like we were eating for like $5 a night, and it's like some of the best food I've ever had in my life. Sometimes I had no idea what I was eating, maybe for the best, but it was so good. It's a lot. She was ordering a lot of food. She had to be ordering and getting it delivered majority of the time because it's just insane be spending that much. I think my entire trip, like spending money, I spent under $400, $300. Food, souvenirs, extra experiences. We went to Thai boxing, which was probably the most expensive thing that I did was 600 baht, if that tells you anything, compared to their $727. So if they were eating out at night markets, they could have drastically cut that. If that tells you anything, probably the types of places they're eating at. Don't get me wrong, like a great restaurant is good, but it's still very, very affordable. I don't know. It must have been the food delivery that got them that high.
6,000 baht total for the trip on food, give or take. That's actually not including, those are just meals. That's not including trips to the 7-Eleven. We would spend about 500 to 600 baht per day on food. The food was kind of pricey because we would be ordering in or going to restaurants. Sometimes we would go to a fancier restaurant and it would cost 1,500 baht instead of the 500 baht a day.
A fancier restaurant, they were getting like poutine. This is what bothers me about her experience. Not that it's her experience that bothers me, but just that it really did an injustice for the showing off the Thai culture and the food and everything. I mean, like she was getting what, Burger King and crap? Oh, so sad.
You could eat street food sometimes for 80 baht a meal for a plate of pad thai.
Less.
So, but Salah's Arab and he loves Arab food.
No way.
So we would go to Arab Street a lot and like go to the shisha lounges and eat a huge Arabic meal. Those kinds of.
But even in the markets, there were Arab stands. Like they were doing kebab and all different dishes. Like there was definitely Arab culture was represented in the regular Thai markets that we're going to too. So it wasn't like it was not included. So that's what kind of is interesting to hear.
Kinds of things. You know, we did enjoy the street food once in a while. We went to Jod Fair, yada yada.
Every
but
night.
Overall, we did spend a lot more on food than, I mean, you could find cheaper as well. It just depends on what you're wanting to spend.
I mean, at least she recognizes that.
How good you are at
but drastically cheaper.
Like attractions. So you have to budget for attractions because they cost money and you have to find the best price. It's a bit tricky. There are different companies that sell ticket prices at a discounted price. So try not to book directly from the actual site if you can. So for example,
what is she saying? Shop around at discount sites, but don't buy from the actual site and support the actual company, the site that's also backed that you know is actually the place and that you're not getting scammed. That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh my God. Please don't do that. Like if you're hurting that bad that you're trying to save a few baht to go on experience, like maybe you should be adjusting your experiences. There's a ton of free things to do. There are so many temples or what they call wats there, and they're beautiful to see even if you're not Buddhist or anything. There's a big range of things to do. So I would not recommend that. If you plan ahead of time, you can get tickets and things ahead of time. There was one thing in Bangkok. This was a common like scam thing. As tourists walk up to the big I'm sorry, my jet lag is not helping me right now. I think it's called like Grand Palace, the big temple there. They would go, oh, it's not open today. It's not open. So I'll take you on this tour because the temple's not open today. So let's go do this other tour. And like people fell for it all the time. Even other travel agents were saying that their clients would fall for that. And they would never like go up and actually talk to one of the personnel that were working at the temple. They just believed this person that walked up to them. And you got to be very careful with that kind of thing, which is why having a travel professional or going on a small group tour, having a tour guide, she took care of all of this for us. We didn't have to think twice about this. And she was a local, so she knew exactly everything that we needed, how to get in. She was just a little Thai angel that we had. I get wanting to do it on your own too, but you have to really do your research. Don't be going and getting these tickets because they're super, super cheap, especially like if you're going to not the tiger place that you went to, but another place that is focusing on the environment, like our Chang Chil, the elephant sanctuary that we went to, buying tickets straight from them to help support them. Like that's something you want to do because they are extremely ethical in the work that they do for the elephants. So why wouldn't you want to support them and not go to like this random third party thing so you could get like a 30 baht discount? I don't know. Sorry, that's my rant.
Elephants cost 2,000 baht each for the day, but we were able to find it at 1,800 each because we bought off of a site.
It's not that much
difference. Were 1,200 baht for the two of us.
They shopped around and put themselves through the stress of trying to get these discounted tickets for $5. $5.65 discount. Maybe it's worth it to some people. If you're going to be someone that is doing that, be very careful of the sources that you're getting these tickets from. There are reputable sources sometimes to get discounted tickets from and all of that, but just be very, very careful.
Of us, we got on a special as well. I think the Sanctuary Truth was 800 for the two of us, 800 baht. The Big Buddha was free. There's some attractions that are free. There's a ton of free things you can do. Lumpini Park is free. Many of the parks are free. There's a lot of things you can do for free. Some temples are free, some charge. You just have to really do your research. But for us, we did a few expensive attractions, and like the elephant conservation, etc. But there are some that were free, and we spent about 20,000 baht total for attractions. Souvenirs and gifts. We actually had to purchase
Seems
some luggage,
fine.
which was kind of pricey. We had to buy 2 suitcases to fit everything we bought.
Going through the markets, I don't think I saw luggage that was over 1,000 baht. I think it was mostly 899 or 600 baht, around $28.27, 1,000 baht. So I didn't really see anything that was over 1,000 baht luggage wise, like actual suitcases that you could buy. So very expensive. I feel like her meter of like what was expensive and affordable is just a little off.
After we came back, we gathered with family and friends, and we gave out the gifts we brought, just little things, you know. But we ended up spending about 15,000 baht on souvenirs, and then
Like
yeah,
what I
so-
spent
including
the entire time I was there.
suitcases, I can't remember how much exactly they were. I'd have to ask Salah. He purchased
Again,
them.
they were
I
there
don't
for a
remember.
long
I forgot to
time.
ask him.
So.
But the souvenirs were 15,000 baht roughly. So then we have SIM cards. You're going to have to get SIM cards. You can get them in the airport when you arrive. There's so many booths.
Not true. I did not get a SIM card. I didn't need it because I have T-Mobile and an international plan. I was within my data range and utilized Wi-Fi whenever I had the chance to be on Wi-Fi. At one point thought I was maybe going to purchase it so I could be on my phone more in case I used up all my data, but I never needed it. If someone is more interested in SIMs, please leave a comment below and I can send you some recommendations that we had. No one really had any major issues with their SIM card, eSIMs, and we had someone get the actual SIM from the 7-Eleven. I was looking for like maybe a 5-day or like a week. It was around like $8 for like an unlimited type deal. It's affordable and worth it if you don't have any kind of international plan. Definitely worth purchasing. It did seem like, although not horrible to add on an international plan for people on the tour, it seemed like it was more affordable to get an eSIM or some kind of SIM card to use while there instead of adding to their actual cell plan. You really got to utilize the Wi-Fi too. You get smart about like places you go have a coffee, use the Wi-Fi while you're having the coffee.
Booths of SIM cards everywhere, very competitive. So be sure to shop around. I know it's probably not the first thing you want to do when you're tired and get arriving, but you have to do it. They have really good.
You can, so she must have had to get a physical card, but newer phones, you just need an eSIM. So you just like literally go online and search it and you download it onto your phone. You don't need to buy it there. You can just do it online.
Good, all-inclusive, like unlimited data plans, high-speed data plans, 5G. And those were 4,000 for the two of us, 4,000 baht for the two of us for the entire time we were there. So all in all, we spent approximately
Seems
115,000 baht for the entire trip. So that's 1,000 KD. But Salah thinks it's a bit more.
I'll tell you right now, you can have a good time for the 5,200. The average week vacation at Disney World for a family of 4 is $5,000. Usually it's more than that. Taking that money and going to Thailand, you can have a great time in Thailand for 5,000 USD. You can have a really, really good time. You can go on the tour that I went on and have an absolute blast, including airfare. You could do it for that. So maybe not spend 6 weeks there, but do you want to spend 6 weeks in Bangkok? I don't know.
That's basically what we spent for all of these categories.
That's a lot.
So it just depends. Like I said, if you're what you spend on transportation, you can spend.
I'm super, super curious of what their average like budget is when they are at home in Kuwait. I'm just weird like that. I think that'd be interesting.
Spend less, and it's entirely possible to spend a lot more. You could eat at more gourmet restaurants. You could be doing a lot more things. Theme park. It just depends on your
Theme parks
budget and how much you're willing to spend. Especially hotels. They have really, really, really fancy ones. They have really, really cheap ones. They have They have hostels. They have, it just depends.
They also have hospitals.
So,
Oh yeah.
but just
She
giving you
never did her hospital bill, which we actually did have someone get really sick on our tour. Poor guy had like a whole throat situation, like strep throat. Tour guide helped take care of getting him to the hospital. He got great meds. Poor guy had to miss parts of our tour. Ugh. And she had a hospital stay or went into the hospital while she was there for her boil. She didn't add that on, and I'd be very, very curious how much she spent because I think there was some controversy. She said it was like crazy, crazy expensive. Yeah, she didn't add that on. So I'm curious if that was included in their massive total or if they just decided to leave that part out. I don't know.
you an idea of how our experience.
Which is another reminder why you always want travel insurance. I'm telling you, get travel insurance. I've seen enough people get burned that I will 100% always recommend travel insurance for any type of trip that you're taking. I was a non-travel insurance buyer. I 100% buy travel insurance for everything I do too now.
But one thing's for sure, you definitely have to try 7-Eleven at least once when you're there. You have to try the Thai.
I agree. The 7-Elevens were awesome. I could never find the cheesy things that they always got. I never saw those. So I don't know if I was just missing them or whatnot. We stopped at 7-Eleven a lot to get little snacks, like when we were on our little like mini road trips to the next city. That was really fun.
Thai tea and
Thai
the
tea.
cheese
Awesome.
toasties from the 7-Eleven. If
Toasties, I
anything
can
else, you
find
have to do it. All right, guys. So that's about it. I hope
But like for that to be her highlight, her like number one thing when you go to Thailand, you must go to 7-Eleven. My heart breaks. If I had to say one thing you had to do when you go to Thailand is go to a night food market and just try the food. Just try the food to have a good time. Just be in the atmosphere. That would be the number one thing I would say to do. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. But it looks like this is the end of
I
her
hope that
video.
helped you. I don't know if you guys are planning a trip to Thailand. Let me know in the comments if any of you are.
Me too.
And if you have any questions, I hope I can answer them for you. All in all, we had an amazing time away from the Kuwait heat. That was one of the things, especially why we wanted to go, because I was thinking, do I want to go all the way to Canada? It's still summer there, but Thailand was still hot, but it was more humid.
All she complained about was like the weather there.
But it was less. It was like in the 30s, and Kuwait at the time was in the 50s. So it was a good escape from the heat. So I said, am I going to go to Canada alone? Or, I don't really want to go right now alone. I want to go on a trip with my husband. And we said, okay, let's go. It was kind of impromptu. Like, let's just go. Let's do it. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for listening.
Okay.
And I hope it helped you in some way.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that I was able to add in some of my own tips there for you guys. All in all, I don't think she was too far off. I think she could have drastically saved money on some things that she did and got out of Bangkok. That was like my number one thing for her. Like, I really wish she was able to experience some other cities in Thailand, go up into the mountains. She could have gone up into the mountains and the humidity totally drops. It was cooler. We stayed at I wouldn't even say a hotel. It was like a hut type thing. Had no air conditioning in Thailand. It got that cool that it wasn't completely necessary. We had fans, but we were up in the mountains during that time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for letting me try out StreamYard. Safe travels to all of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.